Yeah, good number, Alan. Right, we are live. Hello there. It's on the 3rd of March, 2019, allegedly Sunday, Sonday, 9/11. Thank you for joining, subscribers, everybody that's in the room. We have Nonna, Funkstar, Jerry so far have made comments. The title of tonight's hangout, entertainment for you, is quite unique. The famous five, spelled PHI apostrophe VE, of the physical realm. Those are the men here before you, as Kevin, Josh, Andy, Greg is in the chat room. I do hope. I asked him to be present. He is aware. And then myself, David. So you want to say hello, gentlemen, brothers? Noble men.
Good evening, everybody.
Don't all rush at once. Evening, everybody.
Good evening. Hope you're all well.
Bonjour, everybody's good.
Well, a pet. Hope all is well.
Peace and love to everybody. Thanks for listening and joining us. Great to have you as usual.
Yes, thank you, boys. We
it was windy and as cold as ours. Or your day.
Yeah, there's no particular topic tonight. We'll just bounce with the chat room. I've said to the brothers here, the noblemen, if they've got any updates they want to bring, then they're welcome to do so. If Andy wants to read from some of the chapters and verses and enlighten us some more with his words of wisdom and I don't know, I'm just going to leave it at wisdom for want of getting it wrong.
Oh, come on now, lad. We're at ease. We are at ease. Endeavour to teach the program of the words and what's used against us, but you know, we can point them out. We can point them out as we come across them, and if there's some really ugly ones, we can just pull them out on there and then for people's memory, you know, and go see what they think about them and stuff. Even the word people, don't go see body corporate.
Yes, we got these. No, I'm just pulling your leg. I was remembering old told Field McConnell there when he said, "Hey," I was on with Andy, and he says, "I just want to say a prayer, Andy. I just want to say something to you." And he ended up roping in myself and Gobsmack into a prayer, and he says, "Please, God, don't let me and Andy be separated." I'm sorry, Field, for the terrible accent, but I'm going to continue. God, don't let me and Andy be separated in life again. Make sure that we're eternally stuck together. And please don't let me offend this great man with my words. And David and Gobsmack and I and Andy are going to have a great time in Wales. And this man's brought so much joy. And I just nearly started crying. I'm like, wow. This man is saying a prayer about Brother Smithy and he's offended him and he doesn't want to offend him like he's some great wordsmith of on high. And I nearly cried for Andy. I really did. I was like, Andy, that was a magic moment for me.
It was madness.
That was magic, mate. That was one of the most impressive things mince pies have seen and my shell lights have heard.
Mate, the first ever video I'd done on Able Danger, it was quite moving for myself too. I about broke the man down in tears on his own show. He's done it for 12 years or so. He's done over 1,000 shows. Yeah. And he made a proclamation at the end that was the single most important, most biblical, scriptural, spiritual, soulful, senseful, healthful, you know, educational lesson ever taught by one man on this show. You know, and I was absolutely blown away, mate. Just for being myself and that. It's perplexing, mate. It's mind-blowing.
Yeah, it was humbling. It was humbling. That's what it is. Boys from the Hood, literally, not the film Boys from the Hood, but the Anglo version of Boys from the Hood is that we've come not with guns and chains and cars and bags of drugs and hoes and all of these, you know, stereotypical Masonic TV and Hollywood, you know, genre prerequisites. The Boys from the Hood have come with words, pens, t-shirts, seminars, fields, honor,
from the good.
silver water, and such things as we've swapped it up a bit. And I'm honoured to be with you, boys, men, because we're not boys from the hood. We're now men of the realm, the children of the Creator and men of the realm, not boys of the hood. Slight adjustment there, I think, but you get me.
Boys of the good, mate. We are boys of the good.
Men of the good. Yeah.
Men of the good.
But if we talk about it in a contractual covenant way, then we would be boys, yeah,
That's
of the
right.
Creator.
For good is God, and God resides within. You know, all is within. We're all godly within. So if you're godly within, you're godly. It's as simple as that.
Simple as that, mate.
So here we go. Shall I read a little extract for us?
I was waiting. I hoped you
Please.
would. Please, come on then.
This is from an ancient law book. This isn't from the Bible. Okay. It was not just the reformed and purified jurisprudence of Justinian, but the undigested system which prevailed in Western Empire, and which the Eastern corpus juris never succeeded in displacing, that I conceive to have clothed with flesh and muscle to the scanty skeleton of barbarous usage. The change must be supposed to have taken place before the Germanic tribes had distinctly appropriated, as conquerors, any portion of the Roman dominions, and therefore long before Germanic monarchs had ordered breviaries of Roman law to be drawn up for the use of their Roman subjects. The necessity for some such hypothesis will be felt by everybody who can appreciate the difference between archaic and developed law. Rude as are the legis barbarium which remain to us, they are not rude enough to satisfy the theory of their purely barbarous origin, nor have we any reason for believing that we have received in written records more than a fraction of the fixed rules which were practised among themselves by the members of the conquering tribes. If we can once persuade ourselves that the considerable element of debased Roman law already existed in the barbarian systems, we shall have done something to remove the grave difficulty. The German law of the conquerors and the Roman law of their subjects would not have combined if they had not possessed more affinity for each other than the refined jurisprudence has usually for the customs of savages. It is extremely likely that the codes of barbarians, archaic as they seem, are only a compound of a true primitive usage with half understood Roman rules, and that it was the foreign ingredient which enabled them to coalesce with a Roman jurisprudence that had already receded somewhat from the comparative finish which it had acquired under the Western emperors. What are you saying about that then?
That was lovely. If people are resonating with that, like I can hear that, that is beautiful, mate. That's amazing. It's amazing to hear that.
That's old school. Talking about boys in the hood, when we're talking about old school, that's an old school law book, is it not, Andy?
Mm-hmm.
We got old school now. So carry on, Josh. Yeah, sorry.
That is just amazing. If you can translate that into your own senses and feel that message right there, that is just it.
I'll do another paragraph, shall I?
Yes, please.
But though all this must be allowed, there are several considerations which render it unlikely that the feudal form of ownership was directly suggested by the Roman duplication of dominial rights. The distinction between legal and equitable property strikes one as subtly little likely to be appreciated by barbarians, and moreover, it can scarcely be understood unless courts of law are contemplated in regular operation. But the strongest reason against this theory is the existence of Roman law of a form of property, a creation of equity, it is true, which supplies a much simpler explanation of the transition from one set of ideas to the other. This is the emphasis upon the fief of the Middle Ages has often been fathered through without much knowledge of the exact share which it had in bringing feudal ownership into the world. The truth is that the Epictetus, not probably as yet known by its Greek designation, marks on stage a current of ideas which led ultimately to feudalism. The first mention of Roman history of estates larger than could be farmed by a paterfamilias with his household of sons and slaves occur when we come to the holdings of the Roman patricians. These great proprietors appear to have had no idea of any system of farming by free tenants. Their latifundia seem to have been universally cultivated by slave gangs under bailiffs who were themselves slaves or freed men. The only organisation attempted appears to have consisted in dividing the inferior slaves into small bodies and making them the peculium of the better and trustier sort, who thus acquired a kind of interest in the efficiency of their labour. This system was, however, especially disadvantageous to the one class of estated proprietors, the municipates. Functionaries in Italy were changed with the rapidity which often surprises us in the administration of Rome herself, so that the superintendence of a large landed domain by an Italian corporation must have been excessively imperfect. Accordingly, we are told that with the municipalities began the practice of letting out agri vecti jules, that is, of leasing land for proprietary to a free tenant at a fixed rent and under certain conditions. The plan was afterwards extensively imitated by individual proprietors, and the tenant, whose relation to the owner had originally been determined by his contract, was subsequently recognised by the praetor as having himself a qualified proprietorship, which in time became known as an amphitetius, which is EMPHYTEUSIS, amphiteusis. From this point, the history of tenure parts into two branches. In the course of that long Roman period, during which our records of the Roman Empire are most incomplete, the slave gangs of the great Roman families became transformed into the colony, whose origin and situation constitute one of the obscurest questions in all of history. We may suspect that they were formed partly by the elevation of the slaves and partly by the degradation of the free farmers, and that they prove the richer classes of the Roman Empire to have become aware of the increased value which landed property obtains when the cultivator had an interest in the produce of the land. We know that their servitude was predial, that it wanted many of the characteristics of absolute slavery, and that they acquired their service to the landlord in rendering to him a fixed portion of the annual crop. We know further that they survived all the mutations of society in the ancient and modern worlds. Though included in the lower courses of the feudal structure, they continued in many countries to render to the landlord precisely the same dues they had paid to the Roman dominius, and from a particular class among them, the colony mediterari, who reserved half the produce for the owner, are descended to the martia, tenantry, who still conduct the cultivation of the soil in almost all the south of Europe. How's that?
Like before Wicket, in the club of Rome, her. They always refer to Rome as a her. Josh, there was an interesting word there. Proprietor begins with pro for you. Proprietorship. I picked up. Anybody else want to speak? I'll yield. Yeah. Boys.
I've sent everyone to sleep.
No, you haven't.
Yeah. All right. Welcome back, Kev. Back in room.
Oh, I was always here. I just turned the mic off because there was movement going on around me. And I didn't want you moaning at me, Dave.
Oh no, we had Tickly Beard with Josh on Sun and Moon, so don't feel bad. Josh, can you tell Kev last hangout we had, you got done for Tickly Beard? Someone in the chat room actually said tickling it with beard, laugh out loud. So Kev,
I'll tickle it now.
There you go, look, Josh, take it away, tickler.
There we go, I'm tickling it. Can you hear that? Can you feel it?
Back to Rome.
Yeah, I'm feeling
Property.
it, mate.
Andy, I'm sorry. Property, Rome, proprietors, Anything from that to take and feedback?
Emphasis, what a big word.
Bless you again. Sorry. Are you okay?
And another large one is paterfamilias. Hello.
Bonjour. Ciao bello. Hello.
There you go.
My name is David. I like it. It's very nice. Somebody in the chat room, Andy, listen. Somebody's first time in Pond chat room. Let's get it right though. Let's say I told you I'd pass it on to you. The message is
yeah.
Lux Mia Christus 1, aka Tracy J. Stratford at Indigo. Some smiley sons and cool man in the glasses. My first time visiting this live stream. Loving Andy's voice. Son, heart, son. So that's for you, Andy. She loves your voice, lad.
Clearly has terrible taste in men.
She's obviously.
Thank you very much. Blessed be. Thank you. Peace and love. Thank you.
He has got a lovely voice. That's all we're here for, is to listen to Andy.
Don't be like that.
Well, it's true. And your enlightening words. Why are you laughing? I was being serious for once.
You're making
the boy that cried wolf.
Stop it, will you? Why do the heathen rage, and the people imagine a vain thing? The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against the Anointed, saying, let us break their bands asunder, and cast away their cords from us. He that sitteth in the heaven shall laugh, the Lord shall have them in dispersion. Then shall he speak unto them in his wrath, and vex them in his sore displeasure. Yet have I set my king upon my holy hill of Zion. I will declare the decree. The Lord hath said unto me, thou art my son. This day have I begotten thee. Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heaven for thine inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. Thou shalt break them with a rod of iron. Thou shalt dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel. Be wise now, therefore, O ye kings, be instructed, be ye judges of the earth. Serve the Lord with fear, and rejoice with trembling. Kiss the Son, let he be angry, and ye perish from the way. When his wrath is kindled but a little, blessed are they that put their trust in him. And that's from the book of Psalms.
Nice.
It's chapter 2, all the verses.
So outlining that there are levels of judgment and there are levels of law, and woe betide you at your peril beryl if you take the one that is not just, right, and proper. And there is manuscripts here, text within text. Like I have a chat with Andy and Kevin, Josh in private about the subtext in language documents, the verbiage and the words they ask you to use, and respecter of persons. Lord God, granter of dominion. Yeah, it's very, very interwoven. You've mentioned monarchs in there as well. We've got archy, arcs, archons, monarchs. So yeah, the monarchy, Rome, the Club of Rome, and there's lots of history there. So I'd be interested to know what year that is referencing to. I find it hard sometimes to keep fluent because of the my scattiness with the dyslexia and stuff, but I am able to reference sometimes in the periods. But there is history was a busy place, wasn't it, brothers? It was a sure old busy place. There was a lot of people doing a lot of things, and wow.
Busyness, mate. It's always been busy. Business as usual.
That what Andy's pointing out there is there's lots of history in the making is happening now. What we're doing now, analysing and going through the renaissance of status, standing capacity, instrumentation, equitable assets, equitable instruments, and correction of the cognizance and the verbiage. How Andy's pointing out, with the key words there as well. So praetor, I don't know about you fine noblemen, brothers, but I have not heard praetor for a while. So I did a little cast on Saturday about equity, jurisprudence, and history, maxims, and law. So I am now refreshing myself because Andy's made me want to go back to some times when I read stuff that I didn't quite grasp that I put to one side along with other notes, and I'm glad to see it all is dropping into place quite smoothly. And it is, if you're not anyone out there that isn't following the times, lineages, periods, kings, monarchies, churches, edicts, papal, and all of this, don't worry, because at first it is like a torrent of information. We don't necessarily stick to a thread of history. Like we will get a timeline. I'd like to think eventually we could have a nice timeline from, I don't know where you'd go from, maybe Iraq, Mesopotamia, Sumer, and then work out from writing and stuff in history forwards of. But yeah, kudos to you, Andy. It's helping a lot of our family out there. And man, simplify. In your brain, you have a lot of busyness in your head, a lot of emotion, a lot of worry, and man often gets lost in the jungle, in the cement, the concrete jungle. Within them, it's meant to be the cement, and we get lost, we get boxed in, and we forget the simple. And what brother Wordsmith, Sovereign Smith, the man known as Andy, is doing is helping a lot there. So yeah, continue on. I like Genesis, to be fair, and I know you do too. Have you got anything that you could read out of there to do with how you are feeling, what's going on, the vibe?
I could read some Genesis for you, mate. I've just got a little bit more, I've got a couple more in Psalms for us that's relevant, and I'll flick to Genesis, and there's a few in
if you've got something to read, no, carry on. If you have got other things that yeah, please continue.
So it's Psalms 19. The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. Day unto day uttereth speech, and night unto night showeth knowledge. There is no speech nor language where their voice is not heard. Their line is gone out though all the earth, and their words set to the end of the world. In them hath he set a tabernacle for the sun. Which is a bridegroom coming out of his chamber, and rejoice as a strong man to run a race. His going forth is the end of the heaven, and his circuit unto the ends of it, and there is nothing hid from the heat thereof. The law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul. The testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple. The statutes of the Lord are right, rejoicing the heart. The commandment of the Lord is pure, enlightening the eyes. The fear of the Lord is clean, enduring forever. The judgments of the Lord are true and righteous altogether. More to be desired are they than gold, yea, than men find gold. Sweeter also than honey, and the honeycomb. Moreover, by them is the servant warned, and in keeping of them there is great reward. Who can understand his errors? Cleanse thou me from secret faults. Keep back thy servant also from presumptuous sins. Let them not have dominion over me. Then shall I be upright, and I shall be innocent from the great transgression. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength, O my Redeemer. So there it is, It's quite a powerful little...
Hey, can I, let's just hammer time. Can we go back to where it said something about then I shall stand upright? Maybe the sentence before that. What, can you just repeat somewhere about there? And then I will stand upright. Just before that, is there a beginning of a paragraph there, Andy? Or
keep back thy servant.
Yes, please.
From presumptuous sins.
There you go. Stop. Hang on. It's a sentence at a time. Keep back thy servant from those presumptuous sins.
Also, so we know from presumptuous sins.
Yeah, and they assume by default an assumption and presumption. We've pointed this out before, so that can be comparable to a construct that we have around us now. Yeah, sorry
Yes.
to do this. Go on, next one, please.
Let them not have dominion over me.
So that's where we go in and say, who are you? What's your name? Oh, well, what's my name? Well, well, yes, David. My name is David. What's your full name? Full name
Exactly.
is David.
Then shall I be upright. This is what
And
you're
then-
doing now.
and-
You're upright. You're not
Yes,
laying down.
standing.
You're not dead.
I'm standing.
You're not deceased. You are standing.
Yes, that's what I read into that, Famalan. Thank you. I love that. Psalms what, please, is this one?
19.
And I shall be innocent from the great transgression. I'm not a transgressor. I shall not step over the border.
Subrogation.
You shall not step over the border into the Canaan. That's what this is saying here.
Numbers of Psalm, please. Chapter and verse. This is now the next bit.
Psalm 19, the whole of it.
1:9. All right, yeah, the whole of it. Thank you. Beautiful. There you go. Subtext in the text. If you've got eyes, the information and knowledge is
How do you
there
think
to
I
be
hold
seen.
myself? And I can't utter enough. I've done this on Facebook with you, Dave, since 2015. I've held this book in my video since 2015. I've referred to it for the last how many years. I'd read this twice by the time you brought me to Facebook, and I cannot utter the significance enough of this book and its magnitude in the legal realm.
Yes,
You
yes.
can stand on this book and you can quote from it and you can be upright and you are not a transgressor and you have clean hands and you're in honour and you are evoking the correct jurisdiction of the law. You shall not be shit on. How's that in layman's?
That's some good shit, that is, Andy, to stop you getting shit on. You got to know your shit and to stop getting shit on, and that shit is good shit. Let me tell you. Sorry, ladies. Transgressor, solicitor, and these words, trespass, transgressor, and solicitor, all being like all these, 28, 2019, it's 2000 and so many years old. It's amazing how old these words are.
I'll tell you what they are, mate. These transgressors are officious intermeddlers. And what that is somebody that pokes their nose into your business, mate, expecting just reward at the end.
Come on, boys, I'm going to yield.
I yield.
Josh,
So I'm on silent. I yield.
Any comments, Josh, to that little interpretations, or Kev?
It just rings so many bells true, and it just depends on your level of understanding and your level of awareness how you hear it. So I don't know how everybody is in the chat room listening, but it is very important what's being read right there.
Yeah.
And I can't emphasize the importance of it. It's very important to understand what's being said there.
When the corporation is on the offense, this is my defense. This is how I defend myself from them and dispel their spell, and repel them. No appealing, it's repealing. That's what's going on here.
But then again, to appeal, you have to be guilty. So be wary of appealing, because if you haven't been judged guilty by jury, judge, and so forth.
No. Brother Josh will tell you, mate, a peel is from an apple or an orange or a banana, mate. We need to repeal.
Yeah.
That's what goes on here to stop.
That's a different subject. Again, that's the actual definitive definition of the word. What I'm saying is, if somebody says you are to appeal, then I would say, well, for me to be able, you to advise me to be appealing, then I need to be deemed guilty to be appealing.
I need a tangerine.
Appeal non-existent charge or levy assessment against me. You can't appeal.
I fully appreciate that, but I've been asked before to make an appeal, and that was a bit my answer. Appeal is from a fruit or a vegetable, mate. I'm here to
pass me the tangerine.
That is, it is, you're right, it is, that's true.
Yeah.
I agree.
Are you the beneficiary of this tangerine?
Exactly. Are you the creator?
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
You know what, mate? What's going on here?
How many of us can see the chat room? Just out of curiosity.
I've got the chat room in front of me.
Good man. Okay then. Excellent.
Hello from Switzerland, home of the cabal, the K-able, the cabal.
What's that, Josh?
Just reading out one of them. It says, hello.
Hello. Yeah, Swiss friends. Yeah.
Home of the cabal, mate. The K-able. Making the mind able. And I wanted to say something a minute ago before I we go into our little language thing, transgress. I've never really thought about this word before, but it was nice that it was brought up. You have transgress, you have you have congress. Yeah.
What was the second word? Progress.
Yeah, you have progress,
You broke
which is
up.
for your gress. We know pro is for, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah, we
anything
do.
pro
Protest.
is for.
Protest 40. Yeah, we've
Yeah.
covered this. Yeah, go on. We agree.
Yeah. So progress is for our gress, and con is against our gress. We know to regress is to bring up our gress, and to transgress is to change the way our gress is. I'd like to say gress is grace, but if you break the word gress down, G represents God in this realm, and RE represents rightfully establishing, and two S's together represent the joining of the sine waves between you and the Mother Earth, the connection, these dual sine waves, these kundalini. So anything progressive or to progress would be for your sine waves to join in this realm, you know. I don't know if I should explain language here on this chat first, but we'll do that later because this isn't a part of the point. But and Congress obviously is a part of our parliament, but they're obviously conning our gress, so it's to take away the ability to join our two sine waves, you know, rising the crystal soul and then joining the sine waves with this dielectric field of Mother Earth. Regress is to bring up the past, so it would have been joining the sine waves again and bringing up the history of yourself that your past experience have been in. So to transgress, we know to transfer is to move or to change. So they're trying to change the actual sine waves joining within you. So to transgress or the transgressors will not.
Hello.
Transmutification.
Yep.
Transmuting. Transgressing. Yeah.
And then I'll go into the letters and the numbers, etc. later. But yeah,
and just that transporting there is how they bring the laws of the sea onto the land, and the road traffic acts and all that are under the water laws as well. You know, it's all right there. They've transported it. They've transgressed. Hello.
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
Hello. Hey up, pal.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Good stuff.
And that's what it is there. When they are speaking, when the Bible tells me not to transgress, not to go on the Canaan, not to cross the border, because we all know when we go across the border to another country, they speak another language. I don't know what they're talking about. So I have to stick to this side of the border so I know what I'm saying and I know what the next brethren is saying to me. You know, I don't need someone, an interpreter, to ensure that I've got full disclosure as to what's going on around me. You know, you can stop within the safety of the borders, and that's what it's speaking of there.
Indeed, so.
The borders of the language, not a literal land border, a border of the languages.
Yeah, and on the physical and a spiritual level as well. It would be both of them, wouldn't it?
Absolutely, the Christ consciousness, you know. But
you do not want to transgress from your progress.
Man can't abstain this day and age to anoint himself, but we'll go on to that into another show, shall we?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's key, powerful, different thing. But yes, I like that.
You do not want to transgress from your progress.
This man has slept on the settee for 14 years, as we all know in my previous time, and that ascension is sweet when it comes. Allow me to tell you, but abstinence is the key to be fully anointed and have the cross consciousness. You must have.
And wait, Andy, you broke up. You must what, bro? We lost you after you must. Abstinence is the key. You must. And then
abstinence is the key for your anointment. You must abstain for full anointment. You know, for the cross consciousness oil to raise as it should for the pineal gland and the cross consciousness to work as it should. You know,
that's true.
Because your heart is water, your oil is in your mind. You know, don't mix them up. Your passion. With
to be able to
your emotion, your emotion is upstairs, your passion's downstairs. You know, abstinence is the key. Anointment is there for the enlightenment. If you want it, you got to come and get it though.
And ab means not, doesn't it?
Exactly. That's Aboriginal. Hello.
Yes.
Abnormal.
Mate. And the stain is something which is creating a stain on your body. It's not supposed to be there in the mind. It's abstain. And what you're saying there as well, if I can elaborate, is to abstain from something is to gain control of one's temple. Because if you can't abstain from something, why are you having the greed, the lust to go for this thing you can't abstain from? So by abstaining, you gain control of the temple.
Massive. discipline and mastery. It is controlled.
Yeah.
I'd say. Go on.
And in the book, it will tell you to separate the lust from the love, and that's what that is right there. The love of the heart from the lust of the mind, and that's how you anoint yourself, by not lusting.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I've been anointed for years in that case.
Will you stop it? Thank Lord Almighty, give me strength.
I'm sorry, I can't help it. All right, something funny gets said, I have to react. I'm just sorry, just comes into my head.
Well, kid, I've taught everybody now. We don't react; we give adequate response. Give yourself and us all a minute, will you, please?
I'm just
Notice, Lord.
Hello to John. I want to say hello to Comment, Mark, A Fly on the Wall, Frank, Katness. We've had some Michelle X, Josh X's other half there. G Star's caught up with us. He's got my text. Hello there. Thank you for joining. Tech side. So the five have united on the 3rd of the 3rd, 19. As coincidence has it. If you don't know what the relevance of that is, then I'll tell you another time. Who else have we got? It's too long, innit? I can't go through that again.
It'll be the 4th before you finish.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah,
yeah, it will actually. I'll tell.
3rd of the 3rd today as well, isn't it? The 3rd of the 3rd.
I sent it you on. If you look on WhatsApp, you can read it, Josh. I sent you like a little thing because I read it out to the lads. FPV is in, and then who else? Die Breathing. We're all said. I've dropped them in there. Everyone's in. 43. So thank you all. Peace and love. Blessings.
Au revoir.
Happy days.
hello.
Well done, boys. Thank you.
So I'll let you carry on a minute, and I'll pull a couple of nice little bits of Genesis out.
Dig a little nugget out, Andy. Come on, more.
Genesis, yes, I do. The reason for that is because there's a book of Enoch, isn't there, that wasn't so much he's mentioned in the Bible, but it was left out of the Bible. And because of FPV in the house, respect to you, and others, the cherubim, the creators, Andy, I don't know if you've seen FPV's video about the Nazca. Oh my days, this is just such a big mission. But the information there, what he's presenting, and the actual chronography of the biblical tales against the realm and the ley lines, and I'm not even saying it right. I do struggle with this, but yeah, FPV, you can put links in for your channel. There are great many things happening on the four corners of this realm as it is written there. But yeah, however you see it, yeah, it's truly enlightening, and yeah, I find it hard to take in the gravitas of all of this. But that book, Enoch, and yeah, certain bits of Genesis, and why I find it, the seas of space, all right, the seas of commerce, and the waters, they were, you know, the earth without form. It just grabs my mind. It's like a science fiction. I actually see it all in my head as if I'm the creator, and I see it without form, and I'm floating in the seas of space. I'm like waters, as above, so below, correspondent, as below, so above. And I'm like, there are messages here. We're right on the edge of it, lads, men, women, sisters, family. It's truly like, mate, gets me giddy. I'm going to yield and breathe.
Okay. Genesis 11, chapter 1. And the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. And it came to pass, as they journeyed from the east, that they found a plain in the land of the Shinar, and they dwelt there. And they said one to another, Go to, let us make brick, and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime had they for mortar. And they said, Go, let us build us a city and a tower, whose top may reach unto heaven, and let us make us a name, let we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. And let the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men builded. And the Lord said, Behold, the people is one, and they have all one language, and this they begin to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do. Go to, let us go down, and they confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. So the Lord scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth, and they left off to build the city. Therefore is the name of it called Babel, because the Lord did there confound the language of the earth, and from thence did the Lord scatter them abroad upon the face of all the earth. There you go. Therefore is the name of it called Babel, because the Lord
Babel.
did there confound the language of all the earth, and from thence did the Lord scatter them abroad upon the face of all the earth. That is verse 9, chapter 11, Genesis. So if you wish to transgress and step into the realm of the Canaan and speak a legalese language and think that you're going to get away with it, God help you.
Yeah.
The only one that can.
Exactly. Only God can create something from nothing and put value to it. Think about that.
That's it. None of us got charged for this realm, but yet we're being charged for it. You know, they've taken appointed place there, and you know, okay, then they set a great system up. They install a hospital. They install a central clearing bank. They install a monarchy with the bloodline to the you know, Nephilim. Such of Anunnaki, sorry, not Nephilim, Anunnaki lines, if you want to go that way, or God and whatever the Creator Lord is. And wow, it's yeah, it's very blows my mind again, the inception of it all.
There's a song sung by Dire Straits. It's called Telegraph Road, and the lyrics go along the line of: first there was churches, then there was schools, then there was lawyers, then there was rules. Then there was trains and the trucks and the loads, and the dirty old track was the Telegraph Road.
I know that tune, and Josh, Andy doesn't know anything about our chat today, where I mentioned Josh.
That is a quinky dink.
But no less than 4 hours ago, Andy.
Oh, you have to go on.
I had a chat with Josh, and we was going on about something, and I can't remember what, but it came to Josh said Dire Straits, and we was looking at the word Dire Straits.
Magistrates, Dire Straits, MTV.
Yeah.
Remember you brought that up? Go on.
Yeah.
I said Dire Straits, money for nothing, or your kicks for free. It was made for Masonic television to launch MTV back in 1988, 87, and probably, I don't know, maybe earlier, around about then. And that video, I loved that video. I bought that 12-inch track on Positiva, and I paid homage to that. I DJ'd it. It was a big old smash hit. Dire Straits, money for nothing, and your kicks for free. And then now it goes full circle, and Josh and I were having a chat, and now the synchronicity is 4 hours, and there it is, Dire Straits. It may be nothing to describe us, but it means a lot. It just reinforces the synchronicity between our physical five and why we're here, what we're doing on the same lines without even knowing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The universe provides, mate. That's why you and I.
Me and Josh, you know nothing about that, and you know you don't, and I know you don't, and Josh doesn't, and that's all that need to know. And you bringing that up is just made me tingle, Josh. I swear, a little bit.
You seek and you shall find. If you see the K, you will find it, mate. And you said Babel as well. Babel, I'd like to just touch on the word Babel, because if you can see it, you can see be and able. And if you've got Babel on, you've got be able on. And we know Cain and Abel. And to be able to do something is actually to be able to do it. And able would be the right side of our brain. So Babylon itself, as a subconscious word, is telling us to be able on. And unfortunately, 99.9% of people haven't turned their abilities on. They are capped abilities or capabilities. And you need to uncap these abilities that we have as beings, children of God, to become creators ourselves. But yeah, I just wanted to touch on the word Babel while it was in my head fresh.
Beautiful, mate.
That was lovely, Josh.
Beautiful, mate. How you belong like a lion in Zion.
Yeah. That's it.
And Abel needs to be turned on. You don't want Cain to kill your Abel, mate. You need the Abel to come forth within.
Oh, constable. So you don't want the constable to stable your con. Oh, with the constable and the officers.
Chief constables are only in their position, mate, because they can have a stable con. And a con backwards is no see, which means you cannot see the sight. Con is no see, mate. No see.
The
Officers.
constable is not there for you. The constable is there for the crown. They're only there to keep a breach of the peace within a public realm. That's all.
Yeah, and
a
you see
stable con.
previously we've said constables and officers and a correlation. So now we're going a level deeper with the actual meanings of these words and the origins and the roots and the the phonics of them. It's different.
So stable. That's where they belong.
Maritime.
It's stable with the horses.
So
Hello.
I just want to put out there that MAR, MAR actually means to deface, to impair, to confuse, scatter, and squander in Middle English. Yeah.
Yeah.
So maritime, the I is number 9. It's our subconscious. It's our third eye. Let's say, yeah. So maritime is to deface, to impair, to squander, to confuse your third eye in this time. Maritime.
That's right.
Oh, thank you.
Time would be just to tie me up, keep me confused. Time, clock, sea
Time
lock.
is just a concept in itself. The concept. Hello.
The fourth dimension. Some say we live in a 3-dimensional realm, and time is maybe the 4th dimension, a possible 11 dimensions. Just to go on with that, Horus, Egyptian god Horus, hours, rewake that, hours, stars, solar systems based on months, years, how they're based on the calendar, but you've got hours and Horus and so much things there that reference to the time that we have,
You put the C in front of Horus and you get the chorus, which is a beautiful sound, isn't it? A symphony. And it all comes from the sun. Horus is the sun. Everything is here from the sun.
Right.
But I think Horus would be the central sun. Yeah. And that's it. So going on to from the maritime into verbiage, should we talk a few words?
On a choir, you light my morning sky, burning love.
Admiralty, please. You've done maritime. Let's do admiralty. They go cap in hand where there's one, there's the other. So what's admir? Let me try. ADMIR, and then you got the LT and then a Y. So T physical, Y I forget now.
Choice.
L is God. MIR, haven't got a clue. Again, over to you, Josh. I've finished.
If you look at the Y is an eye, which is your third eye, and it goes either side. So you can either go left or right with the Y, and that's why we ask why, because we need to get questions answered. And that's why the Ys are called Ys, because they've answered the questions they needed. So this is why a Y will represent you needing to find the question out. So the Y is the I going left or right. So it's you trying to figure out. This is why the Y is there. In language, it means choice. Add, obviously, is to increase. It's hard to do it in the mind when there's so much I'm trying to keep in to speak about.
Well, that's all right. I just thought I'd ask if it's not there, it's not there.
Right.
It's all right.
You can add my. R represents the full cycle of 2 9s. The magnetism is number 18 in the alphabet, and a tie. So the Admiralty would be adding your magnetic tie, I suppose, in a broken down form of language.
Scattering the I and breaking down your. That sound bounds about less like the other one. I'll take that. Sustained.
Yeah, by adding my magnetic field, physical choice. So it's everything to do with this realm is all choice, and words. When you break down words into the simplest form, nearly every single word will point to the same place, and it's about you tying your frequency with this mother, and that is it. So it depends how deep you want to break down words, but I don't think they should be broken down this deeply yet, because it might confuse people and make people not see the face value of these words. I get that. But certain words, I mean, we could touch on. I don't know if you wanted to touch on words like pole, ice, police, just ice, office, officers, court.
Yeah, we can do later. Yeah,
because I'd like to say the word court, because you know that T represents the physical.
Mm-hmm.
And in court, you co your T, you co your physical. And this is what you're doing when you play a game. You go to court, or you go to this court realm, but you're coing your T, which would be your physical, your straw man. The ST, raw man, the sine wave of the physical, raw man. But yeah, the court is to co your physical. So you're joining your physical with this persona.
and you got to be very careful what you do with that, and you've got to have full awareness of what you do. Otherwise, you're going to end up on the wrong side of the ship, being pushed off of it as the offender, the off-ender.
Off-ender, I like that.
And you have the
East-ender.
off-ended, and they've been pushed off the ship because they've been off-ended, and you've been offender, as in you were the person that pushed them off the ship. You're the off-ender.
And you could be a bell. Sorry. It just came in. There's another one. Bell. Good, Kev. I'm stepping in for Kev there. Sorry.
No.
I'm sorry. It just came out. I apologise in front of God. I
My
have
mind's
sinned.
so past that I didn't even get the correlation.
I apologise. I'm a bad man.
It's all love. It's all love.
It
It's
was,
all
yeah.
love.
I said it in a loving way.
Of course. Nothing but love here. Yeah, but I don't know if we want to go into any forms of language, or we can speak later. I don't know what people want me to talk about. I'm versatile, or we can just chat. So.
We have got a list, a rough scope of words that, and then we can see if others want to contribute and say how they see it, interpret it, and that might get them to get some words up. So you've got some of the notes there that we talked about today and what you wanted to go through. So if you want to go through and then take a pause and get some reflection from us or the room, and then we'll go on and do that if you want.
I'll just spit some words, and then we'll just leave it for conversation, and then it can tangent off, and then we'll come back to it. But yeah, so the meant words I'll go through a little bit, just a couple of them to allow it to tie into law, because this is what this, I suppose, is going to be about. But so meant means mind, and we have a government, which would mean to control your mind. We have something called the establishment, and they're there to establish a mindset. We have a parliament. They lies to the alpha mind. You have a testament, and this is biblio speaking, but the testament would be for a test for the mind. And obviously, depending on our level of awareness, would depend on how we read these scriptures, as we are on a script here, because we need to be on a script here until we can gain.
Yeah, we got scribers and scriptors. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
and within that, you'd also have a testator.
A Taurus, yes, the test of Alpha Tauruses.
We've already done this. Yeah, got these lines. Yeah, go on. Well done, Andy. Yes.
Yeah, that's a good one as well. So Tor represents Tauruses at the end of a word, and Tor backwards is the root. And everything in this reality is a Taurus, or an atom. Atom backwards is Mata, which is Sanskrit for the mother. And it all goes back to her.
Terminator,
Terminator is the term in a Taurus, yeah. Judgment Day.
There you go.
I don't trust the government.
And the government is there to govern the minds that need to have government until they break free and can understand what we're trying to speak and reach. P means mouth in this form of etymology. So when you preach, you're trying to reach with your mouth.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Preach. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Gospel.
So yeah,
it's gospel truth. Oh, hello.
Andy's a peach.
The go spell. The gospel is the right spell to go, and you have a ghost or the Holy Ghost. It's your G host, and it's the God host within you. It's all around us. It's all within everybody. What we need to do is progress, and we need to join the two sine waves. We need to rightfully establish the two S's within us: the Kunda, the Kundalini, the K underline the I, the twin pillars underline the subconscious I. But yeah, so we have lots of things in maritime law that I just like to quickly spit off, just some funny things like.
And can we ask Andy? Andy, can you mute a minute? I think you're doing some rap. There we go. Go on, and Josh. That's better.
I was going to say that people go to work most days. Most people do, and they have something called a weekdays and a weekend, and what it is a little play on words that the common people are somebody that with the mother and the mon. And the monarch is the mon, but going past that, so they wear a suit and tie, cufflinks. A suit, if you spell it backwards, it's actually tie us. And
quickly before I go
We
into
got
more language.
suits. We have Titus. That's law. We have a lawsuit. You have a brief. You wear a suit. The suits. The suitcase. Titus. That's quite apt. Yeah.
And you have a tie, which represents a noose around your neck. And then you have cufflinks, which represent handcuffs being on your hands as you're chained up, just like the unicorn horse is on the nice coat of arms. God be at my right, and shame on he who thinks I'm evil. So yeah, we have these words, and people go to work, and work is war with the K. Just so people know what K is the 11th letter in the alphabet. KKK, 11, 11, 11 equals 33. But 11 is L, which is God and even. And what we need to do is balance out our brain so we can become God ourselves. And this is the journey of man when he decides to take it. If he decides to take it, and if he can understand the knowledge that's around him for everybody to soak up, absorb, and become. When you welcome somebody, you welcome me. And this is why we need to be careful of who we are surrounding ourselves with, because energy goes where the attention flows, and welcome me means someone can join you. And you have to be very careful of the energetic fields and forces that are around us. And yeah, that's one thing to say. I won't go too deep into that. So the realms of work and business is busyness. The phonetics of it is busyness, and the busyness literally is a pointless exercise to keep persons busy until they can figure out who they are and become men, leaders of their own temple, and master themselves and master the realm. We have words in water form. Banks, they hold the flow of water, they hold the flow of money. Money is currency. Currency is water, the current sea. We have offshore accounts. We have cash icers, which is ice. We have frozen assets, assets as set. Bankruptcy, which is a bank erupting. The water's overflowed and you've lost the water within it. We have bailiffs, bailiffs, sorry, should I have said. We have notices, it's not ice. You have police or pole ice, and pole is Greek for the axis of rotation. So we have like the North Pole where the stars circumnavigate around the Earth, so the axis of the Earth. So police literally circle around the ice, waiting for you to step into the waters. Justice
Off ice.
That's right, mate. They're the off-icers. And if you have justice, if you co your tea in court, then you can have just ice and you can just get away with it because you haven't fell into the water. Yeah, these words here are mainly to
You get bailed and then bail in court. Yeah.
yeah. And you have the bail-ifs. If you get bail and there's an if on the end, they're not sure, so they're going to come and try and take your stuff. And it depends on how you speak your sentence, just like it does when you go to prison to pry the sun from within. And the wordage that you've spoken and the verbiage you speak will depend on if you walk away from that place or serve time as a sentence, because it depends on the words that you spoke, because words can cut like a sword. And words and swords are interchangeable with each other, but the pen is mightier than the sword. And may I tell you that we are existing upon a penal system. Break down the word penal, it's pen all. It's all pen, everybody. It's all contract law. We must know who we are. I'll stop speaking for now.
Auricularly testamentary, testify at a hearing. So law, evidence, representation, the management of law in that construct in the correct way could be said, argued that it would be, auricular, verbally, testa is above, then testicles is below. So you have above and below again. With the it's very acute and concise. But we're finding that we don't need paragraph and chapter and verse and public code law. What we need is a just, right, and proper, simple, short, concise sentences, and a full stop at the end, so they know what has been stated, said, required, wish, require, compelled, correction of. And we often find that man is looking for the judge to lead the court, what we are often finding is when we take or have done it ourselves or have got involved in the past, is that we need to go into a court and then use that correct verbiage and then implement the instrumentation and hold our own court within the court and correct the corruptness of it all, including that language. And as Brother Smithy said, we can't woe betide anybody using legalese and that getting in that realm.
Ship.
Yeah, UCC, Admiralty, Maritime. Then yeah, you would go to the language of simple non-legalese, short, concise, and yeah. Is there any Kev you got out, Andy?
Sorry, mate. I was just looking through the room, but no, it amazes me all that breakdown. I really enjoy listening to that. The say last time I was on with Josh, it was a few weeks ago now, but yeah, I remember some of the stuff he was going through then, and head off ISA. That was you, Josh. By the way, thank you for that. Yeah, I do listen.
Good man.
No, I was really, I enjoy that, listening to people break it down like that. It's something I'm interested in, but basically haven't had time to throw myself at.
Yes.
But etymology and all that is something. I've got plenty of books here. It's just finding the time. But no, I really enjoy it, mate. I really appreciate your breakdown, and Dave as well, mate. But yeah, really enjoying it. Great. Really love this sort of stuff.
So we know our country, we use properties, properties. Yeah, is it America? Do they use realty? Is it real ties?
Yeah.
In America.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they
I'm
have
sure it is. Yeah.
Real ties.
They have real estate.
Real estate. And is it when you go and when they sell houses, you go to a realtor and it's called realty?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure it is, mate. Yeah.
Yeah. We have proper ties and they have real ties.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The epoch of customary law and of its custody by a privileged order is a very remarkable one. The condition of the jurisprudence which it implies has left traces which may still be detected in legal and popular phraseology. Hello. The law, thus known exclusively to a privileged minority, whether a caste, an aristocracy, a priestly tribe, or sacerdotal college, is true unwritten law. Except this, there is no such thing as unwritten law in the world. English case law is sometimes spoken as unwritten, and there are some English theorists who assure us that if a code of English jurisprudence were prepared, we should be turning unwritten law into written. A conversation, as they insist, if not of doubtful policy, at all events of the greatest seriousness. How's about that for a little phrase for us?
Gorgeous, mate. Gorgeous. I was just thinking about the word written then, and W literally represents the two of you. There's two of you, yeah? You got the astral and the physical. W, and then you got right in between, the rights. So the two of you's rights need to be written down. But yeah, that's a beautiful bit of work again, mate. It's perfect pickings, I would say. Perfect pickings.
It's all just reference to, Mark, and just the books that I behold, mate. We talk about certain things and topics. I can relate to both of my books and just pull parts out. It's quite good.
Yeah, it's good stuff, mate. It's good stuff.
It's how you interpret it, though, as well, and reference it to. And in these times of busyness and confusion, and we often get easily mislaid with money, bank accounts, the mobile phone, text messages, phone calls, emails, going to and from work. You get lost in it all. Sometimes we need grounding again, and we all here, all five of us, have a ability to ground us in some way and in our unique areas. So it's it's good. It's really good. It's different and unexpected for me, Andy. Let me tell you.
Here we go.
Indeed.
Not a few documentary records exist which profess to give us information concerning the early phenomena of law. But until philology has effected a complete analysis of the Sanskrit literature, our best sources of knowledge are undoubtedly the Greek Homeric poems, considered, of course, not as a history of actual occurrences, but as a description, not wholly idealized, of a state of society known to the writer. However, the fancy of a poet may have exaggerated certain features of the heroic age, the prowess of warriors, and the potency of gods. There is no reason to believe that it has tempered the moral or metaphysical consumptions which were not yet the subjects of conscious observation.
Wow.
I've got two things to say on this, and it's about gods. And you've just brought this to me, Andy, so it must need to be said. But first, I'm going to go to Stephen McLawrence and what they've said in the chat room. The Argonauts worshipped Apollo, written by Homer, then by Apollonius. Herodotus 2,000 plus years ago, the astronauts in the 60s went to the moon in a spaceship called Apollo. Now that's a tedious link of grand historical conceptualization there. Well noted. That's not something you see every night in a chat room and putting that Apollo, Homer, Apollonius, Rhodus 2,000 years ago, and then he just goes, "Oh, and the spaceship was called Apollo."
Our son's called Apollo, isn't it, as well?
He's basically doing a Smithy. Hello, that's what Stephen.
Zeus, or the human king on earth. Hello.
Yeah, and Zeus is the Suez Canal and's got connections to that I've found and relations to. But what I was going to say about gods is, boys, and family men, I want to say this, that with regards to gods, when I do my research, and I mentioned earlier about the Anunnaki, and I've looked at Mesopotamia, Sumer, which is now modern day Iraq, going back to the carvings of, and before Christ, 2000, 4000, and when I've seen that there was these Nephilim and these giant skeletons that they're finding, it's gone beyond doubt now that these giant men and David and Goliath and so forth and so on, and the scriptures contain the word Nephilim, and the Anunnaki have been depicted by the Sumer, and it's all there. There are 12 tablets somewhere in the museum that have got the creation of the realm, believe it or not. Like
that will derive from the 12 Decemvirin tables.
And this, yeah, well, fuck, that Lord, wow, I'm struggling tonight. Well, Andy, yes, and this is before the Great Book and the KJV and everything. And you've got to know now that when I'm researching this, and I found Elohim, and I found that Elohim is gods, and Eloha is God, or similar to. And the point is, gods, all right, Nephilim, skeletons being found, massive gods. They came and they was here in the realm with man, and they allegedly made with the women of men, the angels, and they made the giant skeletons that we now know as called somebody eating, somebody scraping. What we having?
Might be.
Scraping tin of beans.
The Anunnaki gave and made the Nephilim because that's who the Nephilim were. They were the giants that the Anunnaki made with the women of the men, and God wasn't happy about this, and the floods came. But let's go back. FPV, I need to have a chat with you real soon. But if these made with the women of men, that means to me that they wasn't like in the good book there, ethereal, spiritual, ghost-like things. They was angels, maybe not angels then. They was of the God, of the Lord, of the Creator. I'm a little bit confused here. I don't mind telling you. But for them to create, for the Anunnaki gods to create Nephilim, they were physical. They was in this realm. They was classed as gods. And then they created these guys. These guys then couldn't, right? They were in villages. I wasn't there. This isn't first-hand knowledge. But as I'm going deeper and deeper into the books and the realms and before the Bible and the other contents, I'm finding that these giants were being fed by the villagers, and eventually there was nothing left, and even the villagers were starving. So they turned and they went against all of the villagers and the animals, and it was pretty horrendous. To be fair, they weren't the greatest of creations. There was an abomination before God. So these guys, these Nephilim, got together, and Enoch pops up again. Enoch's in the books and the chapters and the verses quite a lot, but Enoch's there, and they ask him to beg to God to relieve them of the curses and stuff, and instead there's these great deluges of floods, and this is where the story of Noah comes, and Noah, Enoch is the. You see, we do research. You know, we don't just. Let me just show you. I'm in the kitchen pacing. It's just from the. But Enoch was related to Noah and gave word through God to Noah, as is depicted in the remake of Noah, about the floods coming, and Noah went off and built the ark. But yeah, it's very confusing to me. And I've gone before the good books, and they are similar. These stories are taken, and these manuscripts are taken from other such tablets and stories. And I'm not discrediting it in any way, but when I found Elohim in Hebrew, and I'd gone to Mesopotamia and Sumer and Akkad, and I looked at these angels having sex with the women of men and creating these abominations, and God having to create floods, and I found FPV and what that tied in with, and then Andy's bringing these stories, and I'm like, they're like repetitions as well, and the DNA is recorded as being made better because we were slaves for these archons of time gone by that needed gold for this planet X that comes around every so many hundreds of thousands of years. And then we've got Josh, what's happening on the 21st of December, 6,000 years cycle of the planets, magnetism and so forth, we were talking earlier. So there's very much a need to look up to the stars where the creator God, Lord, heavens are, and to keep connected to that, because if we forget that, I believe it will be futile for us in many and various ways, you know, a lot of them.
We need to know our mark and where we are and who we are and what position we're in through the astrology. And this is why astrology, or astronomy, I know myself through the astro. This is how we need to do it. And yeah, if we're unaware that 666 is 6 times 6 times 6, which is 216, which is the mark of a man or a star, and it's the age of Aquarius, and we are stars. If you look at the language, you got the S, the T, R, and you got the sine wave of the physical R. We are stars. Stars backwards is rats, and this is the rat race. And we need to flip it 180 degrees to the other side and regain the perfection that we were here to be.
Okay, Josh, you've got. I hear that. I'm just sidetracking because P9 says, Indy, I left you a message on Hangouts that someone left on Sun and Moon for you to pass on to Josh. So that's wow. There's P9 saying on Sun and Moon, someone else has left a message, and there's a message for Josh. So she sent it to me on Hangouts. I have it in Hangouts. Thank you, P9, and I will pass it you on after the Hangout, whatever that may be then. All right. Remind me after the Hangout.
I've got to get back to P9 as well. I've got a little protocol because P900 has a friend that needs help. And yeah, I've got to get back to P900 as well. So I am doing that. It is pretty much done. And you will have that very soon, probably tomorrow rising. But thank you. We are Tauruses, the Taur of us.
Sovereign to Babylon. Just on my wardrobe change. Jennifer Lopez taught me all I know about wardrobe changes.
That was quick.
I'm getting hot. Andy, are you still with us, brother?
Bonjour.
Have you got anything you want to say? Anything that's on the...
Well, I have a little bit of a scripture here, mate. You're on about the 12 decimborum tables. Well, you said the 12 tables, which is the early Roman law. The most celebrated system of jurisprudence known to the world begins as it ends with a code. From the commencement to the close of its history, the expositors of Roman law consistently employed language which implied that the body of their system rested on the 12 decimvira tables, and therefore on a basis of written law, except in one particular. No institutions anterior to the 12 tables were recognized at Rome. The theoretical descent of Roman jurisprudence from a code, the theoretical ascription of English law to immemorable, unwritten tradition, were the chief reason why the development of their system differed from the development of ours. Neither theory corresponded exactly with the facts, but each produced consequences of the utmost importance. What about that beauty?
That's a cracker. That's a cracker. Jerry says, the sin of presumptions. Wow.
Didn't know you were Welsh, Dave.
Top of the morning to you.
To be sure.
What was that from? Where was that from, Andy, please?
It's from an ancient law book I behold that's some 160 years old, mate.
Wow.
You could tell by the dialect, the interpretation that it weren't new. It wasn't no university publication.
What is an obligation?
University.
Yeah.
The obligation is the bond or chain with which the law joins together persons or groups of persons in consequence of certain voluntary acts. The acts which have the effect of attracting an obligation are chiefly those classed under the heads of contract and delict, the agreement and wrong, but a variety of other acts have a similar consequence, which are not capable of being comprised in an exact classification. It is to be remarked, however, that the act does not draw to itself the obligation in consequence of any moral necessity. It is the law which annexes it in the plenitude of its power, a point no more necessary to be noted, because a different doctrine has sometimes been propounded by modern interpreters of the civil law who had moral or metaphysical theories of their own to support. Hello, how's that grab you?
Moral or metaphysical propounded, did you say there as well?
Yes. That's what I mean. It's the old verbatim, mate, that's within these books, mate. It's beautiful, isn't it?
Tonight, love, I'm going to proper propound you, and pro means it's good, so...
See what I mean?
More pounding.
No.
Sorry.
Funny. And we use the pound.
Polypropound.
That's not what he does.
Yes, I know. It's not all a sin. We've got to have a laugh, Andy. We carry a lot of burden on our shoulders. I for one, do. And I need to have a crack now and again. I will say my sorrows. I'm sure I'll get away with it.
I was trying to associate with a
dog crying.
Coin.
Yeah, it's me. I'm crying in the background, mate. I'm just weeping with tears. It is a singular result of the ignorance of the Roman law which Englishmen readily confess, and of which they are sometimes not ashamed to boast, that many English writers of the note and credit have been led by it to put forward the most untenable of paradoxes concerning the condition of human intellect during the Roman Empire. Hello.
Untenable of paradoxes. Well, yeah, we created a right old. It's another fine mess you've got me into.
I yield.
Never.
I use my pen. Aha. And I give you my notice. There you go. How's that for yielding?
It's not ice, mate. It's fine. Bondage. Bond is to bond is.
Notice, not ice. That's fine. Thank you. Then, yeah, that's. I just caught that a second later.
No ties, not ice. Bond is to be on, basically be on D, and D is for, which is form. So to be bonded, it's to be on your form. Bond, be on form.
Paper, maybe.
Yeah, and I was trying to think about our slang words for money here, and I was trying to put it with water. Yeah, but we use a quid, don't we? We call a quid a pound, and quid. You think of the word liquid, yeah, liquid, and you'll see a squid has quid in it. You have the sine wave of the quid, so it represents water. Quid literally means water. Liquid.
Squid pro quo. What?
What?
That's it.
God, Andy, that's great.
A pound is such a small amount because it's not a note or a bond or millions. It's like a little water droplet in my mind, a little drop in the ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tiny little.
And a pound, if you're impounded, it's a form of a trap, isn't it? It keeps you in. Impound, you know, or I'm pound. Yeah. And money does that. Money will trap us and free us, depending on how we use it. But yeah.
Not many outpounds.
Speaking of coins, then Julius Caesar was the first man to coin currency, and he pissed off a lot of people when he did that. That's
He was
why
a Caesar, mate. He was a
Caesar.
Caesar. He stole. He seized.
Yeah.
He was the one who started to coin currency, and he didn't go down well. Let's say on my discovery road there, I found
a Jew, liar, Caesar.
The wreath of Rome. Look how many times you see a corporate symbol and they are adorning it with the wreath around it. Wherever you go, and you will start looking at these corporations and symbols and United Nations flags of the world and the wreath going around them and stuff. It's a symbol of whom is there, you know, in the background.
The law.
And the amount of leaves,
or the wall,
the amount of leaves. Yeah, the amount of leaves on the reef is also is key as well.
13.
13, yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. It's always the number 13, which goes back to the 13th letter in the alphabet, which is the M, which is the mother. The center of all. The center of the alphabet being M, and the center of our realm, the void.
We say
electricity.
Masters. Yeah, we would like to be masters of the realm, masters. So we would like to, conquer, and learn.
And the conquer is the conqueror. The Q is there again. This Q is very special.
What about Q and Queen and stuff? Could you explain the Queen and the Q? What was we talking about that?
I'll put some things out there. So Q, I think, is one of the most important things we need to do. It might be a bit too deep, but if you look at the alphabet, you'll see Q, R, S, T together in a form, and the alphabet's been put in a certain order for a certain resonance. But if we Q, R, S, T, it means we Q our physical sine wave. And this Q, you'll look in the word quest, and you'll see Q, the sine wave of the physical, Q, S, and T. You have Q being the beginning of the word queen. And I'm pretty sure, you know, the Queen's possibly like the gatekeeper and somebody that's not really evil, but people foresee her as evil on the secondary form of enlightenment. And on the initial, the standard Joe public think that she's just beautiful and everything she does anyway. So, but this Q is one of the only letters that I haven't completely figured out, and it's been playing on my mind recently, because if you look at the word square, you'll see the sine wave of the Q, U-R. And we all know, well, not all of us, sorry, but if you look into the occult side of things, you'll see that we are squares, or we've been squared. And then you'll look at the phonetics of a cube, and you'll see Q, CU, and B. So we be this Q. So we need to QRST. And Q also is a line, or waiting in lines, or it's your Q, it means it's time to go. So whether we speak to the gatekeeper, the Queen, or what we have to do is up to the individual. But I'll just put that out there, that people who are sort of in a stand.
The keeper of the faith, defender of the faith, keeper of the seal, holy seal.
Yep. And the seal is to see all, mate. You need to see all. And they're all sealed up. The 7 seals.
QRST, Christ, Christ,
yeah, Christos, and this is all about it, mate.
Christos brings 7th heaven,
and 7 again. Oh, come on.
Yeah, it's all there, and we just all need to sit down for a long time and just collaborate until this is all completely there for us. But it's beginning, isn't it? It's beginning. But yeah, the Q is something that's very important in this realm. The CQV Act, is that not something from, is it 1666?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you see the Q. Are they telling you to see the Q there? CQ, phonetically. This Q is very important. It's your Q, it's your time. You need to Q our ST, our physical sine wave. And we have been squared, and we are cubes, mate. The sine wave of the Q, you are square. We've been squared, and we need to circle our squares and become masters of ourselves. Yeah, I won't go too much deeper because I just keep it.
CQ, funnily enough, in ham radio, CQ is to call out.
CQ,
so,
CQ.
What are they? CQDX, yeah. CQ, that's it. It's to call out, so to beckon.
Setu KV or Sestlu K, Sesta KV or
Seta KV.
Seta KV is not English. It was written in Latin, in a top French, even should I say, not
French,
Latin.
mate, says to KV. This killed that life.
Yeah, that's what it means. What again, please, Andy?
This killed that life.
And it was written 1066.
1666. That's the Battle of Hastings.
Yeah.
London was having the fire and the plague, and we wasn't proficient in French. It was a good 300 and something years ago. How was that? 600. How would you know what's going on there?
The bubonic plague or the Black Death. Oh, hello.
350 years
Black.
ago. Yeah.
Black is to be lack. It lacks something. It be lack. It be lacks.
To kill the rats of London. Man is seen as rats in that day.
Yes, as in stars, because stars backwards is rats, and this is the rat race, isn't it?
Yes, hello.
We are stars, everybody. We are stars.
Raw stars, exactly.
The gifts in the
raw
present.
stars.
I'm going to have to go shortly, kids. I'll give it another short while. I'm going to have to, because I've got to get up early and go and do my steering wheel attendance. So I have my professional capacity. I have a profession. Oh, what? And I must go and fulfill my duties.
We respect that, and thank you. Thank you, sir.
That which is right and proper. I've endeavoured to bring and spread my love and speak my truth and give my belief. And thank you all for having me. But shortly I shall be departing. So I'll give my godly blessings now. Peace and love one and all. And thank you for joining us. It's been beautiful, emotional, and sometimes touching. Thank you.
We hope that you can be relieved from the ailments of commerce, because what you have to offer.
Yes, I have relief from the bee leaf. Hence, we have new leaf.
Go back to the tree. Is that not right? You need to relief.
The tree of life, the Garden of Eden. Hello.
Hello, and that's what we need to happen here. But yes, we need you out of commerce, and we need you putting your brain fully on, to be able on, my friend. And this is what we need to happen.
Able Danger crew across America, pal. That's going okay. I've been welcomed and received and loved in America so far. So blessed be by the Creator, by the strength of all. It's coming together.
It is coming together. It's the path you're walking, the righteous path, and you shall be looked after. Ask and you shall receive, my friend. Seek
my book has told me I shall be rewarded for my worketh, for I'm not a hearer, I'm a doer of the work.
Yes. Respect goes out to
you. An apostle of truth. At some point you have to recognize where you're going and what you're doing and how you're coming across, and the prolific words that you speak in there, the gravitas, the intent. It's often overlooked. Like I say, that's why I make jokes, because I often feel like crying sometimes with what we carry and what we think and how we plan, what we have in store, what we want and what we have. We're two different things, what we should have and what we've got, the cards you've been dealt. So trying to make a man better mentally, spiritually, this realm, physical, mentally. It's just a beautiful thing, mate, to come back. I said on Saturday a quote from T.S. Eliot, which I can't now re-quote, but it says, you go around everywhere and then you come back to the place of which you started, and then you realise, aha, okay then. And basically the answers were always there in front of you, and they're not complicated. They're often quite simple. And that's the beauty of it here. They've Josh simplifying it. You can simplify it. Kev simplified a thing that was baffling me for 6 months and had me on the run. I don't know everything. I try. Some things we get cracked on with. Some things we have to try. And then a man like Kev comes along and goes, why aren't you doing this? I said, I don't know. And he had to go, and it was just bosh, did it. So this is the key. This is what you're doing. Is the key. Thank you. And brilliant.
Just while you're still Andy, that Roman Catholicism is a vessel for holding holy water. VAT.
Yes, of course. You have a vat in industrial complexes holding oils and other such aggregates and things like that. A vat, a container, exactly that.
Yeah.
That
Good, I
I
just
can. Lovely jubbly. They can contain you. Hello.
the holy water is within. What are we made of, my friend?
70% water. Keep it clean. Keep your heart clean. Keep your mind anointed. Don't separate and don't get the two mixed up. Sorry. Keep them separated.
Don't
I
get
should blow your head
stained.
gasket. Yes.
Don't
Get
get
very
tainted. Don't get
tired.
stained.
The
Well, I'm
Vatican.
excited. It's bedtime. I've got to get up early. Woo, woo, woo. I've got my servitude to do. Wit, woo. Look how it's getting me.
Oh, Andy, you just can't contain yourself.
I'll see you in the office at 8, Andy. If I'm going to be up early. I've got to be, so I won't be too long. But yeah, thank you, brother, and peace and love. Much blessings.
Have a lovely sleep. Sleep
Yeah, thanks.
astral leap well, my friend.
So do. Peace and love, everybody. Godspeed.
Cheers, Andy.
We're going to have a
Thanks,
strong.
mate.
We're starting our
Lots
strongs.
of love. Great to speak to you again, mate. Have a strong.
Yeah,
You do, mate. I shall endeavour. I only have the best. Bonjour.
a strong moon day.
Salut.
See you, bro. Thank you.
Ciao.
There we go.
Bless him. Yeah, it's powerful, and he's got some clout he has now with that book.
Nice quotes in it. There's nice selected quotes. You know the Queen.
You know what?
Go on.
Go on, Josh. Sorry, mate. Go on, mate.
It's all right. I was just going to say, you know, the Queen has a coronation, yeah?
Yes.
Yes.
We know coron is a heart. Is it coronary arteries? Coronary?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coronary. Yeah.
Coronation would be the heart of the nation, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
The coronation. And then we have programs for such as Coronation Street, yeah?
Yeah.
The heart of the nation street. But then you have something called East Enders. And if we're aware that we begin in the East in this occult, which is the right side of our brain, yeah, we need to start our journey in the East. If it's not making people aware that, for instance, East Enders is actually ending the ability to use your east side of the brain, it's there for you to see with these wordage. But yeah, coronation is the heart of the nation. And this is why the Queen has a coronation, heart of the nation. I just thought I'd put that out there for people to correlate things with.
Excellent.
It was just in my head.
That's good.
A nice thing to have in your head too.
Yeah, do you want to go on for any longer, mate? Do you want to talk about anything? Do you want to smash some words out? Do you want to anything
you want to written down there? Have you got any notes or anything? Other things?
I've got a lot of things in my mind. Like we got the allodial or loud.
Hang on, you're breaking up again, please. We've got allodial. He's gone.
Oh, he's exploded.
Right. Am I better
now, that's
darling?
a bit better, mate.
Hello, Moscow.
I was just talking about the if you look at the word allow, get down is all over. Really, if you're asking if you're allowed it, subconsciously it's telling you you're actually all owed it. The allodial title is all owed to every have the note. It all depends. To spit that there. And there's many forms of language that I've through and just first of all, words are written forwards, and conscious language is actually language that is reversed. Reversed is in rightfully establishing the verse, which would be the correct verse. The subconscious language will never lie to us. Just as AC/DC records back in the day, they people play messing. Our individual subconscious language will speak in reverse and blip every 9 to 15 seconds. If we play a conversation back, it even starts as young as 3 months within children. So please record and play back children speaking or talking or threaded in it or phonetically is the way things sound. Something called alarm for is
you're in and out, Josh. Your voice is going in and out. You're dropping in and out. You've not got.
Might be talking. Maybe should I talk a bit slower like this?
No, it's the signal. Or can you move your Wi-Fi box somewhere or the signal box somewhere?
I've got 4 bars right now. Is that good?
That sounds excellent right now.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, I said so we have something called phonetics, and we have definitions for the deaf Phoenicians who don't understand the phonetics of things. But so we have alarm would be all arm. So an alarm would have initially been brought into reality here for everybody to arm themselves when a certain invasion was happening, for example. So the alarm is called the alarm because it's for everybody to all arm themselves, you see. As the allowed is the all owed, as the issue is you. And if you put a T which represents the physical in front of the issue, which is you, it is the physical issues. So a tissue has been invented for physical issues. And then you have something, for instance, like magnificence. Magnificence is to magnify your senses. Magnificence. You have emergencies, and phonetically you hear that it's emerge and see. So when someone says there is an emergency, we need to emerge and see what the problem is. And this is just a form of language as well. So it's written forwards, it's written backwards, it's written phonetically, it's also written as anagrams, and it's written in part words, symbols, and signs. So there's deep explanations to this language. So this is why I find it very difficult just to talk about certain things, because it goes so deep, and it depending on the level of understanding. And I've never seen certain things anywhere else. To see where in my head, and get them, you'll grasp the universe is there for us to see. Bark on a tree, B is the second letter in the alphabet, and arcing is electrical. So there is a two-way electrical signal with the bark. This is why people hug trees, to discharge positively charged ions from the body to become negatively charged again. Yeah, so there's many things, like the forest is for rest, and this is where we should be if we want to discharge the ions again. And then each individual letter will break down into a hieroglyph and a number, and this is when every single word will always point us back to the same thing, which is the goal of our life, which is to, yeah, we won't go there now, but it all does this. So yeah, if we'll do on this channel, Dave, we'll do a big key, an explanation, but it'll probably be a big long video when we can meet in personam, in the physical.
The forest is for rest. Yes, we will indeed. I look forward to it. Recreation. I'm going on vacation for recreation. Vacation, recreation in the forest. Oh, yes.
Recreation is to rightfully establish creation, and you are creating when you are what did you say? I forgot. Recreation, yeah, recreation. And creation comes from the creator. And the Holy Grail comes from gratalis, which actually comes from crater. And the Holy Grail is the holy crater, and the crater comes from creator. And creator is C, the third letter in the alphabet, also C, which is sight and out C, and Rhea is area, which is a certain sizable space, and toruses. So a creator is the area that creation of toruses comes from, which would be the void at the center of this realm, which is the magnetic field that we exist upon. If we're all aware of that, we're existing on a plane of inertia. It's called a planet because T is the physical, and if you put a dash in between plane and physical, you'll see that it's the physical plane. It's not a planet. But if you want to plan it, you must plan it to make yourself free. So the planets are there for you to plan with your 7 chakras, your 7 incandescent colors, and to escape from the cells within the body, to free yourself from the phi cycle as a phi loss cipher, the cipher to lose phi, which is difficult, which is the DeFi cult, which we must do to defy ourselves from the constraints of this physical reality. There we go.
Cipher. Cipher is another word for code, is it not?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
So the code in the philosopher is the code to lose the phi, which is to free ourselves from the cells, which is the twin to win.
The philosopher's stone, the philosopher's stone, the philosopher's stone. No.
And the stone is the sine wave of the physical one or the sine wave of the tone. And stones carry a frequency, that sine wave tone. And this is why stones carry a reverberation, and so do gems. And a gem is the god's electromagnetism. And EM put together represents electromagnetism.
Yes, it does.
Empowerment.
Emerge.
And empowerment is to be empowered by the electromagnetism of the mother, which is the ether and the mother put together. Electromagnetism, dielectricity, and electromagnetism. This is all creation, longitudinal, latitudinal waves, A and Z. A and Z. No more busyness, no more walls. Law backwards, truth of the law is a wall. And we must be careful. We must use our knowledge wisely, know who we are, separate ourselves from the persona, the mask that we hold and carry every single day. If we choose to engage in commerce or in the realms, we must know what we do. As beings of children of God, we can choose to contract. As Dave, we can trade, can't we? But they can't trade with us.
Yeah. Yes, that's right. Trade is private, man on the land, land, air, and water. Land would be man, air would be the Vatican and trust technology and ecclesiastical, and then land, air, water would be admiralty. And if we have an underground area anywhere, you would have, and if there are underground military bases, I would imagine they've got their own underground law. Then, as Genesis says, in the beginning, the earth was without form, and the waters of space. Well, the UCC. You all right, Kev?
Yes, I'm fine.
Oh, you can hear it. I just heard.
Got backache. You got backache.
Yeah, I have got backache.
I know, mate. You need a tissue for your physical issues, my friend.
And as well. Continuing on, the UCC is going out to the seas of space. So they say the waters of space. Again, the laws of correspondence, as above, so below, so above, so below, as above. The seas of space and the air. Again, I've said the Vatican trust technology, air controlled, is also military, because you've got the air. The military use the air.
My light tree, mate. My light tree.
So you can't just go up in the air. Then you've got radio waves in the air. So you need a license to broadcast through the airwaves. Allegedly, you need
a lie that makes sense.
You need to recognise that there are all these aviation, aeronautical rules, maritime rules. So then, right, on the land, man, self-governing, private, not a person, cracking on, David. Then I might want to go into the international realms, the sea, then the admiralty, actually on the sea, internationally. So we'll keep the land, the sea is the sea. I go onto the sea, and I am a trader, private man, and I'm now in the world of the internet and the sea, and I'm over there doing fine. I come back to the land and leave the commerce. Now the commerce comes out from the sea and comes on the land and says, hey, up, Dave, but there's a barrier, there's a firewall. It says no. Computer says no. Commerce cannot come on land and trade with man. So this is where we have this crossover point of the confusion with the management of. So it's trade, what Josh is saying here is what we talked about recently about private capacity and man trade. Levy and barter would come with that, but we're just saying trade. And if anybody has done any monetary intensive workshop research to do with negotiable instruments, equitable assets, equitable instruments, and you've seen the words with the instruction for the holder in due course for the promissory note, you would say that this instrument is able to be sovereign B. Your words are echoing through my head. So somebody that's contacted me of late through the .com, regular phone calls, I mentioned about trading. It's an instrument to trade with. That's why it's a promissory note. That's why, well, promises are all we've got to pay. So trading is what you would tell and instruct the holder for the promissory note to discharge the charges. Effect payment is what you're doing, transfer by endorsement, and you would be then trading. So but you're using, as a private man, effecting a promissory note, which is a private instrument, not for the public, going into the commercial realm to deal with finance. So do you see how we go trade into commerce, but trade the commas can't come in because we say in personam. To put it back the other way, you are a dead entity, a soul, a corpse, a corporation. You don't have rights. You have assumptions and presumptions and these codes. So trade, Josh, is looking mighty fine. Sovereigns, family, Sov stars. We have now a further, again, inception on the realm that governs with the air, water, land, air, and water, and is divine interpretation, which is from that, realm of the, what would you say? Lord God. So you have Lord, Christian, God, surname, given name, surname, Christian name, because it's obviously the Lord. So Lord God, don't take the Lord's name in vain, God. Then we've got grantor of dominion. We have the creator, Lord God, creator.
And then you have a surname, which is your surety name, and that's to do with commerce, isn't it? And this is why everybody's surname is to do with a type of busyness that was eventually introduced into this realm. If your name's Bank, it's to do with water or sea banks or the actual bank. If you're a smith, it's because your family was initially making blacksmith stuff, And this is where all this surname has come from. If you contract with your surname, you've made a contract with the devil, the maritime or the busyness laws. And this is what we need to be careful and know who we are, because we are Christian names. That is it. We are who we are. You can call me this.
No, I wouldn't say we are Christian. I know what you mean. No, I'm not arguing.
Well, you can call me my Christian name if you're not in.
We are the tribunal, the mind, the body, and the soul. In the image, all men are created equal. We have a name. I have a calling. My calling is David. Your calling is Josh. How can you be a name? You are not a name. You was given a name.
Now me.
Yeah, you got to. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you have a name and you have a calling. You use a name like this. Did you see on your travels the legal name fraud billboards anywhere? It's illegal to use a legal name, is what it said on them.
Fraud.
Yeah, they were quite funky. We liked them at first, and now I'm thinking, no, it isn't illegal to use a legal name. It's quite well to do to discharge and effect. We're using, liability to the legal name. It's a good thing to do, like going into bankruptcy and looking at insolvency and so forth, charging, discharging. And using a legal name is not a bad thing. It's when we've got mixed up with it and got the identity crisis, and we think that it all is one. That David and his data self are one, but there is a data self, as they've shown you on the United Kingdom's TV advert for that corporation with Dan and his data self. Cool, it's that simple.
Yeah, I slipped up using name because I know that it's me, mate.
Nami, wait, Santos, no, hombre and nombre, Mexicana, Hispanic, hombre, man, take off the H, put the N, no membre, Italy, Latin, cognomen, no men, warning, alarm, you see, go off.
There we go, my friend. It's not us, it's not our name, and it's no men, it's something that's completely fabricated as a persona that we can use and create for the choice. And if you have the knowledge, I suggest you make that right choice. If you don't have the knowledge, be very careful until you've actually acquired the knowledge to use it with skill.
One more thing though, that name, to do with the name, it's quite important. Yes, we'll go for, okay, you want to know who owns the name and what is about this name, and we want to put this name to bed. Well, David, born 9th of May 78. Okay, I'm going to go equitable maxim on you now. Justice of the Peach, Judge, Banker, whatever you are, John. Okay, I was born 9th of May. Registration may have been on 25, 26, 27, 28th of May, 78, some days after. Agreed? Here's the person's instrument. Have a look at it. Pass that to the judge. Justice, banker, John. Yeah, he gets a look at it. He's in front of him. The instrument, the person, the debtor, creditor, the debtor certificate. Sorry, not the creditor, if only, the instrument. And I'm saying, okay, you see the born day, namely birthday, because, it's what it's called, a birth certificate. And you see the registration day. You've got that. Okay, then. So the name David and the family clan name Jeremita has now had an estate and been capitalized on. You've capitalized, made money from, done something with, and made, a profit, capitalization, capitalism. So Capitol Hill, capital text, hold up, pinning that. You've capitalized on my private name, and I own that name. I am not that name. And to prove it, first in time is first in line. That's the equitable maxim. So I was born and crowned by the waters of my mum and, my mum herself on the 9th of May. So therefore, I'm first in time because registration wasn't until the latter part of May. So may I just say, using that maxim, man can claim ownership rightfully of that in a secure way, which is a nice little bit to just to contemplate when we see these realms of rules. We can use them against them to correct them quite effectively, short, concise, and jobs are good. And
That is right. Yes, what a nice piece of information you just shared there, mate. Play that back a couple of times, everybody, and get into what he's saying.
Yeah. Get your head around it.
Sorry,
get your head around that.
Simply is to simplify it, put it into one place, bounce it off each other, get validity from the room, the playbacks, the comments, and then move forward with it. Yeah, and keep doing it so it gets cemented in. Me and Andy, we have to repeat. So we've repeated so much, but it's good for us as well because it's mental dexterity. It's a mental alchemy for the mind, and it's when you've got it like that all the time, your cognitive, your dissonance is gone, and we stop saying person and we. I used to be a DJ. Now I'm a party. David and Jeremita.
All on its own.
What?
And then you look at
party.
You'll see part with a Y on the end. It's a part your choice, mate. It's part choice. Party. Also, it can be broken down into a tie. They're parring you off with ties with parties if you're going to the wrong type of party.
Vinyl records for public records. It's just insane. It could go
Crazy,
on forever.
isn't it?
Paradox.
What a paradox. We have these bills daily, and there's another form of language which I was telling you, which is like reversed. And there's a few examples that I just got up in my head quite now that just popped in. And you said bill. People have these bills, and the opposite of a bill is to free ourselves, which would be to liberate, to free from this bill. We have law backwards is wool. We have love backwards is evil. We have kiss backwards is sick. We have boy backwards is yob. We have kid backwards is dick. We have music backwards is kiss'em. And all of these things that are written forwards and backwards, we'll be able to see that language will show itself like a Taurus or Tor is root. Is it not? Root. And everything comes from Taurus. So everything is there for us to see, and there's many different types of this language shown. An example quickly, because I writ the sine wave. S represents sine wave, but not a dual sine wave, just an incomplete sine wave. We see a stop. We see slow in the roads every day. So sine wave has hit the top. You have to stop. The sine wave is low. You drive slow. You see a house that has been sold. The sine wave is old. You'll have a showroom and you have the sine wave how. This is how they show you. If you're smart, you have the sine wave of the mother's art. You've become smart. Able man is a sine wave of the physical has been able. The sine wave of a torus in the ether is a store. It's been stored in the ether. It's stored. The sine wave of the torus in the ether. You have the sine wave of the physical R. AR, as in a star, and we are the sine wave of the physical, and that's what we are. We are stars. And backwards, that is rats, like I've said earlier on the video. And these things I'm just saying again and again and again, so because there's no writing up here, people might be able to just get it twigged in, but yeah, there's so many different ways to this language. To join the physical is to be joint, join physical, joint, join the T. To twin is the physical, will win. And this is when we join or entwine the Kundalini. And I'll stop that there. But remember when we were speaking earlier, Dave, and you said something about dog, and then I come up with canine.
Oh, I was on about Cirrus B, the Dogon tribe. Dogon backwards is no god. Dogma, canine, cannabis, canna, Latin dog, by s, bis. By two dog, 2-star, cannabis, Dogon, no god. And I was like, what? How did we get to that? That was brilliant. That was
And
foul.
K is the L even, 9 is the God, the number of the subconscious, and then you've got K9 being a dog. Dog backwards is God, then Dogon backwards is no God. You got the God star, the dog star. It's incredible what's going on right now.
And that is in the constellation that is Sirius B. Is it near something to do with the Pleiades, and the Palladians tie into it, into Earth history. And the Dogon, David Icke, see David Icke and the Dogons, the Natural History Channel did a documentary on the Dogons. They have claimed that reptilian lizard people came down and give them information years ago, and they brought with them the cannabis plant, the ganja leaf, THC, the oil that is now saving lots of money.
Which is the original incense.
Use your own research and due diligence. I say this loosely, but I recollect them saying that the researchers said that the ganja plant come from way up there, and Star Dog, say no more.
And then ganja is G and Jah, God and the Sun, G and Jah. And the ganja plant itself, oh no, I just lost my trail of thought. You said something about a ganja plant, and then it went, no.
Star Dog and the cannabis, K9. That's all I can remember.
Broken
cannabis.
Josh.
Oh no, I stopped. So the cannabis, let me get it. The cannabis plant. What was I gonna say? You said it about being passed here by them. Oh, the incense. Yeah. So cannabis is actually the only and original incense. Incense is inner sense, and we know if you ingest cannabis, it opens up your neuroactivity and creates self-thought or higher realms of thought. So this is the incense that we've been given to allow us to do it. Also, cannabis is non-conducive to mind control. If someone is in the influence of cannabis or endocannabinoids within the system, MK Ultra, all these mind control programs are scrambled. They cannot access the subconscious mind. The plant is amazing. It has so much to offer this mankind here. It's literally one of the first plants on record we have here as well. Sanskrit, an amazing plant. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to say. The Catholic Church, I don't know if you're aware, but up until the 1500s, it was actually put on the altar, and people used to burn it all day and cover their head and go over it, get altered in an altered state of awareness or consciousness.
Yes.
And in the 1500s, the same time as the book burnings, the same time as the the globe Earth, and all of these other control programs are put into place. They removed cannabis from the Holy Church and brought in red wine, and then bread.
Go on then. Sorry, but that's just really bad.
So they removed the holy incense and brought in the alcohol, the flesh-eating spirit in Hebrew, to confuse and to move away from the righteous path. All-knowing people will understand this, and I'm sure many cannabis users out there, especially the American cannabis company that have been commenting in the comments, I'm sure they're very aware of the nature of the plant. It's amazing.
Hey, Josh.
Amazing.
Josh, I've decided that I've now become an incense user.
Yes.
And I'm using it as we speak.
It is, and while we're on it, it is not a drug, because the definition in the legal realm of what the drug is, because medical and legal intertwine, and that's how they determine things, not so much in law, in legal, as you're aware. So legally, in codified penal laws, the restrictions on drugs are because they will lead to a mortality, and it's a safety measure, not an economical market.
And have no medicinal use at all. They must have no medicinal use. And this is why drugs are called drugs in the pharmaceutical industry. Pharmacopoeia in Greek means to poison. So everybody's just administering poison. It's not true medicine. And drug in Sanskrit means is a dried herb. So the true definition of drug has been confused, and it's totally the opposite of what it should be.
Yes, and that's well said. Yes, I can see the ghost of Hippocrates now, who is the father of such sayings as, quotations as, let food be your medicine and medicine be your food. If you eat the right shit, you won't need their shit. That's what it's
Yes, and may I just add on to that, mate? Ready? Use thy medicine as food.
Yeah.
No, sorry. Use the food as medicine, or thy medicine as food, and never trust a doctor unless he is an astrologer. This is Hippocrates.
A vegetarian astrologer, maybe.
Of course, a plant-based guy. He wasn't eating veggie burgers or nothing. He was eating pure plants and making beautiful nut roasts and all of these things from fresh ingredients every single day. And every single philosopher you'll find out is a plant-based vegan, and they're not eating of the flesh because the flesh taints the mind.
But pinning everything, that is well said and respected. Back to drugs. A drug, the ganja plant, THC, cannabis, K9, is not something that man can suffer a fatality from. You can't eat too much or smoke too much. All you'll do is turn green, throw a whitey, be sick, sleep for 3 days, wake up and say, oh, I'm not doing that again. And, you know, a bit like when you was younger and you started to smoke and you coughed a lot and, you know, wow, you didn't have a fag again for a bit. You're like, oh, that's... So it's something that, and if you've got a heart condition, if you've got voices in your mind, if you're not stable, you shouldn't take anything that alters your body full stop until you're stable. You shouldn't even drink alcohol, which is legal and taxable.
Eat chocolate or sugar.
That will kill you. That shit will kill you. It will beat your missus up from it. You'll break your family. You'll probably gamble everything, and you'll lose all your friends, and you may commit suicide. So alcohol and all that sail in her, good luck to you. Whereas the medicinal purposes of a plant that God gave us, that's been kept from us, that now might cure cancer and other such things as Parkinson's, don't we all feel silly? We listen to them again. Mm-hmm. You know, wow, when will it end? When will it end is what I say.
The neuroconnection and neuroactivity from the cannabinoids in the plant is incredible. As soon as it's ingested within the body, within minutes, the neuroactivity is at such an exponential rate than what it was before. It's connecting new neurons, allowing new neurotic pathways and new trails of information and thought processes to be allowed to go through into the mind. And this is why people with such diseases, diseases as Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, seizures, fits, tics, epilepsy, Tourette's, when they ingest this plant, unfortunately, due to the heavy metal toxicity and poisoning that has been blocked in the brain from vaccine damage, chemtrail damage, etc., food damage, we will allow these neurons to be connected to have new pathways of thought, and they will just be normal beings while the cannabis is inside the body. You know, you can't knock this. You can't knock anything about it. It's just a hidden plant for people to find themselves, and this is why it's so opaque, should we say?
Well, if you're fortunate to reside on the land of England and Wales, Anglo, not the United Kingdom, but within the United Kingdom itself, there is a ruling now that says it's kind of declassified again, isn't it, Kev? Where you can have 3 plants. Personal and nothing will be said. No criminal but criminal offence here will be claimed or anything. So they have the system and the elite, the establishment have accepted that man will smoke a joint and drink some tea. Ever since Noel Gallagher once said in the 90s that he likes nothing more to sit down and have a cup of tea and a joint at the end of a day. Quality, you know, and they allowed it to get out in Q magazine, not Q, one of the magazines. I retract that. Somebody said it, and I was like, wow, look how times are changing. And you know, I remember the control of the music, that you see the commercialization and how they get the stars up and coming. So you don't need, allegedly, via Sadhguru that Smithy introduced me to. Other such Indian great speakers are out there for you to find. Yeah, they are. There's millions. There's so many. He says on that video that he's got red eyes. He's never smoked a joint in his life. He then manifests. The point being that we've got receptors of cannabinoid in our bodies because the body is expecting man to make it. And this here X-Man seems to go on. Yes, what? Go on then.
I was just going to say that, yeah, it's so possible to be conscious of every single signal in our body that we can produce these things at will. And also, just so everybody is aware, that women, when they're producing breast milk, are actually producing endocannabinoids, the full spectrum within the breast milk. So the body is producing it at a natural rate to give it to the baby because the baby needs endocannabinoids.
So all the endocannabinoids are found in breast milk, and it's a part of a natural baby's development to ingest these endocannabinoids. So when babies are having formula milk or any other type of milk, it's not got this full spectrum, so it's not allowing the baby to grow, to have the full health. And if it's a neuroconnector activity, people are wondering why children have glasses at such a young age. It's because the retinas didn't produce properly because of the deficiency of endocannabinoids and the neuroconnective activity within the being. And if we cannot produce endocannabinoids ourselves, then I suggest we get them from an external source.
Yeah.
Even if we're eating the leaves, juicing the leaves, having the medicine,
Yeah.
having the teas, until we can break the Kundalini cycle and produce the cannabinoids ourselves.
Get some land
Cool.
and let's start growing some polytunnels or greenhouses and organic legacy seed, genuine, full spectrum, Chamon, goddamn.
On the land, which is God's
And-
DNA. Look at the and DNA and L is God. It's God's DNA, the land.
The sovereign strain. I can see it now. Come on.
Already
Oh,
on it.
mate.
Already on it, mate.
They're just waiting to be revealed soon, aren't they? This year, they'll be there for everybody waiting. As long as they're not a part of the United Kingdom.
There is a market going to be opening up for health, for wealth. It will be licensed and it will be restricted. It will be done by your local government and your central government. And between the central and the local government, they will ensure that you get the scummiest, crappiest, rubbish part of their own, genetically modified, new
chemicals, GMO.
Yeah, it will be totally horrible. It probably won't be organic. It will have all the trace elements of death in it, you can be assured. So, we have got the rights here to look at, self-sustenance, no chemical poisoning. As we've said, chlorine bleached washed chicken on supermarket shelves, products in BPA, cancer-causing plastics.
Chlorine water, what?
It's wrong. We don't claim to be scientists or brain surgeons or anything. We're just men, brothers from the realm, the phi. And this is it. We have got the ability and the conscience now to pretty much make it on our own and support ourselves and to work out what we have been told and what's been given to us is a crock of shit.
I won't name drop here, Dave, but I want to let you know that at will we can have access to frequency enhanced nanoparticulate CBD oil that has a resonance stored in it for 6 months, which is one of the most healing things on the planet, which cannot be patented because of its healing properties. We have access to this, just to let everyone aware that there is things out there that cannot be patented and brought into the realm of business, because busyness is just business.
It's called nature. Nature can't be patented. Yeah.
No, it cannot.
See the graviola. And the 40 years of medical pharmaceutical study in the rainforest for the graviola plant. And then after 40 years, Matthew in Sheffield brought this to me actually when in early days. And he said, why would a pharmaceutical company study for 40 years a plant just to then go, oh, we can't use that? He said, if they did it for 40 years, that's millions, if not billions, invested in the graviola. It's like a spiky green fruit from the Amazon that smells a bit like cheese when you open it, but it's allegedly heralded for its anti-toxic properties and so forth. So if you know about it, for the benefit of the others, they, after 40 years, realised that you can't patent nature, and so they had to stop it. But they didn't come out and say, by the way, we've just invested 28, 58, 100 million in 40 years in all of this, and we've got all these labs and that set up. Basically, if you just go and run that, you can make your own medicine. They didn't. They kept it quiet and sold it on, and they moved on to the next, pharmaceutical issue.
Could you imagine what 5 great minds could do with that money, mate?
Well, yeah. Could you imagine? Yeah.
Could you imagine what 5 great minds wouldn't never need to do or engage in commerce, and they would just give it away for free because everybody who needed it would be welcome to the healing because we are all one. What people need to do is put the money where their mouth is and stop putting money into a control system and give it to the people with the gnosis. Teachers should be teachers.
Yeah, that's right.
People who know how to heal should heal.
People who know how to make free energy should make free energy. We shouldn't be putting our ideas into these patent services, because you are also handing over the ownership of the patent. The patents are non-necessary. We do not need to be greedy. We need to share with the world. And if we have ideologies, we need to share it with each other, never engage in commerce, and build this beautiful world, this forthcoming golden age, together as a beautiful family, together to get her, to restore Mother Earth in her full beauty, with giant trees and beautiful fruit and absolutely everything around us. Get rid of all this manipulated weather around us, these fake clouds, these grey skies. Have you ever seen a blue day with a plane splurting out this rubbish?
Oh,
No,
come on.
unless they're about to see
Ridiculous.
clouds. Check out patent 1338343. It's the first ever patent from 1917 to do with cloud seeding, and it's been going on for 100 years. I must say that nobody has an idea how beautiful this country we're existing in G land. This is the modern day Zion. Unfortunately, the weather here is so manipulated that we've never seen likes to the true skies, apart from a couple of days ago when we felt that beautiful heat. It felt like summer, but that is just
Yeah.
normal.
A shout going to Able Danger live stream. I grow my smoke organically.
You must. Well done. You need any advice or help, please just put some Himalayan sea salt with it, juice cucumbers and apples, and drop that into the water feed, and you will find some beautiful full spectrum minerals within that plant as well. 113 full minerals from just those three things. Go for it, guys. You'll never experience flavor, healing, and terpenes like it.
You are a little gem, aren't you, Josh? God bless you, Josh, everyone. The Joshua tree of knowledge. As I said,
I think as well, my friends and darlings, I'm going to just put my voice out there to say I will be returning to the back in a couple of minutes. I have 10% battery and I don't want to die on you guys.
Yeah.
It's 11:22. 11 add 22 equals 33.
Yes, it's not by accident. It's not our number, but numbers are numbers. We don't claim them. They talk to us. We use them.
Oh yeah, earlier when I was saying about maritime and MAR, what it meant. Yeah.
Follow.
So the maritime was sort of the ability to deface, to make people confused, to scatter, to squander, and ket in Icelandic and Swedish is like meat, candy, sweets, and food. So a market, or the supermarket, is to confuse, to disturb, to impair, to deface your food. And there you go, your candy, your meat, and your sweets.
Oh,
The
wow.
market. There we go. KET, Icelandic, Swedish, meat, candy, sweets, food. It's to deface, to impair your food, the market, supermarket. And the super is the sine wave upper. So Superman had an upper sine wave. Boom, 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 boom.
And He-Man and the Masters of the Universe.
The eternal ether man.
And with He-Man.
Yes,
I have
mate.
the power. Yes.
Josh, I was just going to say, and to go back to the time when you said, it was whatever it was, 11:22,
Yes.
23:22. So 2323, 2322. Sorry, that's 3, 6, and 9 all in there.
Ooh.
I want to do this. I want to do this now. Go on, off you go.
Yeah, I was looking at it as you were saying what the time was. I'm thinking, hang on, that works out. There's all of them in there. Three twos for the 6, the 3's in there, and add them all up. There's the 9. Bosh.
Wow. Not only are you getting 11 and 22 and 33, you're getting 3, 6, and 9, yes?
Yeah.
And then
Yes.
if you
Well,
look
look at that.
you'll see something that we was looking at earlier, that now, because the numbers are alive, and if you don't pay tribute to the numbers, then they come and get you. So for the numbers,
Hey, that's today. That's today. You know that. Look at what you just showed us, yeah?
Yes, March this now. Yes, it is
It's
indeed.
the 3rd of the 3rd, 2019. 2 add 1. Yeah?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Add 9. 2, 0, 1, 3. 9 goes to 12. Add 1, add 2 is 3. In numerology, today is 333.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
showing you. I'm going to say March the 1st, 2019 by Alex Miles, the third day of the third month in numerology. 3.
Oh,
here.
is that about today, is it?
Energy portal, the intense vibration of this 333 energy will change the frequency of our energy field. This awakening brings higher levels of consciousness awareness, enhanced intuition, insights, internal and external transformation and closure. Oh, today is a highly charged vibrational reset. This energetic shift powers the number 3, bringing 3 months of mental strength, deep healing and completion of past cycles, inner peace. Yay, inner peace. I'll have that. Alignments and authentic soul connections. Hello, fine subscribers. America. Elimination of unhealthy patterns and fewer painful lessons. That would be the hermeticism coming back into play. Thoth, the principles, the what I've been saying, laws and 7, such things as. Again, we're going for. It's quite small now. Excuse me. Start speaking out loud. The positive transformation you hope for, and watch as doors will open. Opportunities appear, like with that interview and things that you got coming through there, Josh, and other such things, Kevin, and .com and Wales, Able Danger, Andy, so many things. I talked to a holistic dentist today who wants some advice. I told her we don't do advice and she can have a chat, and she's happy to have a chat with us later on, but she's got a lot of health about advice about health, and you can imagine holistic dentist.
Yes, you've got to be very careful about your. If anybody has those things, what are they called? They put them in your mouth. They remove your teeth. What are they called?
Amalgam fillings.
No, not fillings. When you have a root canal.
Oh yeah.
So dangerous. If anybody's got root canals, I really suggest you trying to get them out, because 97% of women with breast cancer have a root canal on the same side of that body.
Gosh, your battery's going to go. Listen, thank you. Yes, that is true. We'll cover this on another video. The last bit is, this is a new chapter. Trust, change, and let go of any toxicity and be ready for an exciting new start. Thank you.
Yes, plant-based diets for all. Woo! I would like to say quickly before I go, the word transformation is a beautiful word. Yeah. You have T, which is the physical. Then you have Ra, which is the sun. Then you have N, which is the end. Then you have 4, which is obviously 4. Then you have Ma, the M and A together. Then you have a T, which represents physical. And then you have ion at the end. So transformation means the physical sun ending for the mother's physical ions. So we need to transform the sun within and join the mother's ions. Transformation. There we go.
Like that.
Wow.
Gosh.
We don't need to be transgender though, guys. It's just transformation.
Let's not go down that road.
No. This is the illusion. Transgender is about the illusion about joining gender, like Baphomet, becoming the masculine and the feminine intertwined. This is where it all goes to. But yeah, we won't go there now. It's too late. But thank you so much, guys, for having me on and chatting. And yeah, it's been a nice night.
It's been great again, Josh. Thanks, mate. Really enjoyed it.
No problem. I wish I could stay up longer, but I've managed to leave the realms of commerce due to beautiful people, and I'll be getting my rest in this night and tomorrow, and then after that I'll be up for long distance, long calls, big chats, and etc. So yeah, lots of things are going on now. This strong is going to be a big one for me. Testing a lot of water, ants after. Let's call them strongs from now on. But yeah, next strong or the strong after, we should know whether we have many acres of land, and we'll start our own little growing there. And anybody's welcome to come and pick the fruits of the labor, as long as they are men and not persons. Have a lovely sleep, all of you. If you finish your chat, I'll be listening to you.
and I'm going to go and ingest some of the holiest plant in the world. And
Fair play.
yeah, so
Ingest
have a
well.
lovely. I will ingest, and I will get some
Hey,
incense.
no, it's not. You're going to go and put your incense burning on now. You're
That's
going to go.
the true etymology. Yes, I'm going for inner sense.
That's it. Thank you. We appreciate your time, your sacrifice, and we've got lots of love for everybody, one and all that may drink, smoke, no matter what you do, how you get your fixes and vices. We're all different. We're all, different chemical assemblies. So that's what brings us together. Our differences do unite us. They make us appreciate other more, and we teach each other and we learn from each other. So with that said, thank you, Josh. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Andy. Chat room scribers. Me and Kev may stay on a minute, and then you can get yourself off. And thank you, Josh. We'll be in touch through the week in the
Brilliant.
show, as it is now.
Lots of love to you all, and thank you everybody for coming on. I will speak to you all soon, and tomorrow is a new day. Tomorrow, and the O is the center womb of creation, the field that we're all existing upon.
Moon
Tomorrow,
day. Moon day.
tomorrow, everybody. See you soon.
Cheers, Josh. All
Peace
the
and
best,
love.
mate. And to you,
Bye.
mate.
Nice one.
Thank you, Josh. A strong moon day. Ah, wow. That was a
Yeah,
lot.
it slows you down a bit listening to him, doesn't it? It's like, whoa, hang on a minute. No, it does get you thinking, though, doesn't it? I enjoy that sort of thing. As I say, I haven't had a lot of time for it. That's why I enjoy listening to it so much. And I say, he's got some good interpretations and stuff, and the way he explains stuff. It's very interesting.
Yeah, Andy's left a bit ago, Able Danger live stream. If that's you, Field, there we go. Yeah, he's left a bit ago. He's retired some hour ago because he's up early, but he may be on a live stream. We may have Andy. Can you confirm, Field? Thank you, brother. Thank you. When you thank me, you thank yourself. You know, we thank each other. We give blessings and thanks for what we've got, for the love. If Andy's with you tomorrow, yeah, that's brilliant. Then we'll promote that. Obviously, Moon Day tomorrow. We'll check the live stream, see what's going down. Our information is your information. We are proud to be the custodians of this knowledge and craziness, and what we can do to help you, we will do. We're going to do it together. Unbonding of the proclamations is what we're after. So we all have a right to that, and we have a duty and an obligation, and it's brilliant. The chat room's very busy, Kev. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh yeah, I'm seeing it. Yeah.
Drowning in comments.
And there's loads in there. I've been backwards and forwards through it a few times trying to catch up.
I'll just say, Colo Caposity came on 8:30 live stream for Able. Fly on the Wall. I'm looking at them now. Brother John Lux, Funk Star. He's got his yes. There's some comments there. Yeah, we got that.
Night, Able.
Sweet. What was that? Sweet tunes. Sweet child of mine. Sheena. Michelle. Who else is there? Thank you. P9. Holly Breeze. Jerry. There's loads of new ones. IOV has been there. What? And I think that's some more. Yeah, got them in. Thank you, scribers. Humbled.
Yeah, bless you all. Night, Able. I see he's just signing out there. So good to have you in.
What? We got the chat room with the what now. They're all getting going the words, and we will be back soon. Yes, we have much to do. I'm up tomorrow for servitude early, so I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you. Ciao. Arigato. Auf Wiedersehen. Farewell. Bonjour. That's a must. In Hungarian, hello. And that's all I know. So goodbye. And thank you, Kev. Any final words? Anything to say to describe?
No, thanks everybody. It's been there's loads of comments going on. Really busy in there tonight. That's great to see. I really enjoyed it. Thanks, Dave, for bringing me in. I say it was more of an educational one for me this evening, but thoroughly enjoyed it, mate. Thanks, everybody, again. Peace and love to everybody, and hope to catch up with you all soon.
Lux Mia says, I'd like to talk. Oh, if she wants to come on and have a hangout, we could have a look at that. We could have a private chat and see how, if you'd like to talk, Lux, if that's what you mean, with us, then yeah, we're open. We have private hangouts first after the exposure that we had over on the other channel the other morning, which we won't talk about, Kev, but we learned. We learned. So yeah, thank you for that. We are looking for sponsorship, adverts on the .com or endorsement, help, promotions, affiliations. We're looking for alphas. We're going to start out rolling the alpha course next. The alpha course, we're looking for females. I'm finding a couple privately through contact through the .com messages, emails. My landlord gave not my landlord, the landlord gave our last 21 days notice via a text message on Saturday because he came round and we believe there may be asbestos and the danger of asbestos in the property. And so because we've raised that issue and I've supported Anne-Marie as a translator, he's got RC and sent a text message saying that within 21 days he'd like to sell the house because it might be getting repossessed. So poor old Queenie there is in a state of disarray. So for the next 4 weeks, it's going to be a bit scatty, more scattier than usual. So I'd like to disclaim now, if I'm not making excuses, I'm just saying that I've got to try and help move out, pack up all of the stuff, and make it better. So we have had offers of help, and I have had an asbestos training course recently, of which made me ask that question. And there's cracks in the ceiling, chunks of plaster falling down left, right, and centre. So I kind of brought this on and feel responsible. So, wow, yeah, RC landlords over health and safety conditions. We've lived here 2 years, not been a problem. And the first time we mentioned this, he says, when contract due for renewal, Kev? And you know why?
Yeah.
Because of the asbestos recently that I've done and familiar with, and I thought, hang on a minute, stairs, open plan, they must be fire protected. I wonder if there's asbestos in there because the guinea pig cage is under the stairs. They go like that, and you can get either side because they're open stairs. And I just thought that might be dangerous. I need to know. I mentioned it to Anne-Marie, and now she's got to find a new house. Wow. Obviously,
Well,
you've got to use solicitors and serve and do it properly. We know that, but go on, Kev.
I think we could slow that down though. Has he given you enough notice?
No, not at all.
Well, there you go.
It's all
Not
good.
there.
Yeah, we've got an argumentation. It's going to be a bit of calamity over the next 4 weeks. So bear with and
Yeah. Well, I'm here anyway. You know that. That's playing in my field, mate.
I know, yeah, definitely, indeed. Isn't life massive? And it's not anybody's fault. It's just the way it is. The cards that life deals you have to deal with, don't you? Literally.
Yeah.
So, American cannabis. Thank you, chat leaders. We're not chat leaders. We are just chatterboxes.
Yeah. Thanks for your comments tonight, American Cannabis. That fair play. I have been looking at them. I'm sorry I haven't had a lot of time, or mostly I was listening and being quiet, I suppose. But yeah, I have been looking at all the comments from everybody in there tonight. It's really great. Thanks. Appreciate it. And good interaction between yourselves as well, by the way.
Good call, night all. Yeah, they're saying night. They arrived. Holly Breeze, yeah, get the replay then. Thanks, Kev, from Fly on the Wall. Massive thank you.
No, thanks, right. It's great. I've seen the comments in there. Thank you.
Let's go then. Let's say goodbye. Ciao. Thank you. Peace and love. Stay sovereign. Stay cool. Stay honourable.
See you later, Dave. See you later, everybody.
Ciao.
Bless.
Thank you, scribers. Let's do this.